53, brother.
Oh, I got you. I can hear you, Bob.
Yeah, 10-4, yeah, it sounded a little different on your voice. I was until I heard the handle there. Yeah, sounded good there, Bones. Ron, Pop 3, standing by for that DX land. Break.
All right, I think he's ready to start.
Info, catch your air there, 73, I'm back quiet.
Man, there's a lot of big strappers on this band.
Hey, good evening there, Joe. Good evening, Joe.
Hey, well, back to you there, Bob. Doggone it, man. Big strappers out here on the band.
Yeah, it's rough and tough to keep up with them big straps. Big dogs out there, no doubt there. Hope you're having a great day there. Joe, hello.
Hey, 10-4, well, Bob. Have a super fine one. Take care. Tell the pretty one we say hello. You know who on this end. Back in the woods.
Yeah, boy, I will, no doubt. We'll catch you later, and I'm standing by. Yeah, bye.
Speaking of the woods, is this Sticks and Stones radio working?
It's sounding good on this end.
All right, I'll try to get it fired up here. I think we're okay. A little bit of skip, a lot of good-sounding local stations. And then the jingle singers said,
"You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
RADIO. I did hear a couple of RADIOs out there chiming in. The skip is light, but the local stations are pretty good, so I think we might get a few local check-ins. My name is Dennis, and you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, something we've been doing on this channel for a long time to encourage those with the glow-in-the-dark 1950s, 60s, and 70s tube radios to get on the air and drive them around the block, and also to create a forum to just come and say hello. Just if you're listening in and there's something to do on a Saturday evening. You can join us live at Channel 11 right here, 27085, also at oldtuberadio.net, wherever you might be. And there's a link, believe it or not, to have some type of a video, some pictures added to your radio. So good things all around. One of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair. Again, my name is Dennis. Before we get too far along, let's see if there are any stations that need a check-in to scoot and do what they need to do on a Saturday evening OTR listening for early check-in.
24.
All right, 24, Joseph, I've got you. It is a new roster. So before I do that, we got you checked in, but don't go away, because I just realized they're telling me that I should pick a new 00 before we start everything. So hang on, let me do that. 00, of course, anybody that has perfect attendance for the last 8 weeks on the SWL list, somewhere in the green room, they cut up a bunch of little pieces of paper with those numbers, and then I get the thrill to try and pull them out of the little box here, and so we can have a new 00 for the next 8 weeks. And I think I have one only. And let's see, who is the lucky? They're saying lucky. Who is the lucky item of interest? It are SWL 31. That's Robert and Teresa, who are, I think they're both listening right now somewhere in Hendersonville, Tennessee. So I will put that to the side and see what's going on. But Joseph, I've got you checked in. Thanks for stopping by. Who else would like an early check-in?
56.
Just for kicks and maybe some tricks, or is it tricks? Tricks are for kids. Kicks are for your check-in pleasure. 56. I'm trying to find you here on the new. The paper is nice and not crinkled, and no Ovaltine stains on it. There it is. X in the square for 5/3/2025. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, I've got the window open, and there is a breeze coming through. I think it is tripping my Vox. I may have to go off the Vox here tonight. Who else needs an early check-in?
Get 650.
All right, 650. I will do, let's see, I got to turn that down. All right, that's good. And while we're at it, let me see. I know Robert and Teresa are probably listening in. SWL 31, we'll get them checked in as 00. And we'll also get SWL number 1 on the Cosmic check-in. And believe it or not, Mr. OBP is listening. Should be, there he is right now. Number 2 is out listening at the video portion of the Old Tube Radio Network. So let Kevin know that he is 9 pounds, good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. You know, if he doesn't get that report, he's going to climb up the tower and see if he can make the Antron 99 work a little bit better, the PDL2 or whatever's up there these days. Let's go to SWL 3. Skip is in, but not too bad. I also got 111 out in Reedleytown, was in earlier, so let me get Bob checked in. We actually hear him live and direct. Three, I got a proxy check-in for Rob, but let's go over to SWL 5, Levon. Uh-oh, okay, hold on. We gotta go push to talk. The wind is coming through the window and really playing havoc with the microphone here. Let's see, 5, Levon is in. I heard from JT. I'll get to 21 checked in. He was on a mission from the FCC, I think is what he said, the Blues Brothers and himself. So he was on hiatus tonight over at Old Radio Night, but said to check him in, and I see a lot of people from Old Radio Night jumping in here, and we'll look for JT next week on ORN. Next is SWL 7.
SWL 7 checking in.
Sounding most excellent from the Midtown. There's a couple of us still left here on the air in Midtown, and you are one of them. Sounding good. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Yeah, Dennis, I already checked in 53, and I need a proxy for next Saturday. I won't be close to a radio if it can be done.
All right, it can be done. I've got the new list. You are checked in tonight. Proxy for next week. Always remember, if you are near some device, you can click into oldtuberadio.net and play along in the home game. And we're checking people in even if you're not near a two-way radio. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.
oldtuberadio.net. Hello, Fresno. Hello to Derby, New York, Sacramento, California, Ware Shoals, South Carolina, the unknown SWL, but you know who you are, where you are out there. Toledo, Ohio, Edmonds, Washington. A couple of stations listening in from Fresno. Yellow Springs, Ohio. Looks like Ohio is the place to be tonight. And up in the balcony up there in Englewood, Colorado. I wonder if that's Rob. Sometimes it shows up in a different area code, but we'll see if we can get some tropospheric ducting e-skip tonight. I don't know. The weather is a little bit of rain today. You can see it's cold. I'm going to have to, they say they like the breeze coming through. I'll have to shut the window down. Anyway, let's go to SWL out in Sangertown. SWL number 9, Dirt Dog 982.
How about this is Dirt Dog 982?
982, sounding loud and proud at the Old Tube Radio Net control. I'm putting the big X in the square. Take another transmission. You're sounding good.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for stopping by on a Saturday evening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Dirt Dog 982. Let's go up to Idaho, SWL 10 for Chrissy, and I think I see Dwayne there as well. Number 10 and number 30 checking in, had conditions, and talked to Chowchilla a minute ago. I thought I heard you. I was listening on the remote, and I said, boy, that sounds like Dwayne. But by the time I got here, because there's about a 15-second delay, I wasn't hearing you. So I think you made it in and then back out. It was a very short item, and like you said, it was about that time. So that's who you were talking to. Yeah, we heard you down here. You're probably on the early part of the replay that I think is still up somewhere, so you can check that out. You have to scroll through a couple things. Anyway, Dwayne and Chrissy let us know again the details on the D104 cover. Sounds like a good thing. And I think a couple people have already done a good thing and have a couple heading their way to make the Radio Shack look good. Let's go to SWL 11. That would be Dan, and Dapper Dan, SWL 11 and 12. I am looking through the items here, make sure I don't miss anybody. We'll check in. There it is, 11 and 12. Well, I will put the items right here. We did get 10, so I'll put a check in there. Also 11. Let me get to the quad screen here. Somewhere I can do that. Okay, should be it. All right, above my head, you will see you will see the current checking in and check-in status. Let's see. We do not want to restart a computer now, so let's get rid of that. SW11, SW12, Dapper Dan, I am looking pretty good. They put me in wardrobe and makeup. I told them, I said, I'm tired of being number 2 to SWL12, and they said, well, we'll get you close. You may still be number 2, but not by. Be 1.5, something like that. So thank you, 11 and 12. Let's go to SWL 13. Hello, Mr. Cobra. Mikey will often check in at oldtuberadio.net, which you can do. Looks like the coffee pot is going up in Copenhagen, up in the balcony. I think Hans has just stepped in. We'll get you checked in just a moment. So let's go back out to Sanger, SWL 14.
Hey, howdy, Dennis. SWL 14 checking in. An old dirt dog is sick as a dog this weekend, unfortunately. So, but I will be around for the tube show later on this evening.
All right, and I can tell you we're on something now because it is super loud, and we'll spend a speedy recovery out to Dirt Dog. Hope he is sitting in the big comfy chair, listening in with whatever it is he needs to get well. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to the show later this evening.
The Old Tube Radio Network is what you're maybe listening to, Channel 11, oldtuberadio.net, and some other items of interest. SWL 15 is right there. Good morning to you, Alpha 173, checking in from rainy Copenhagen, Denmark, where we had, I don't know, an ounce, a teaspoon of rain. I was actually out putting up the crossband antenna, which I had taken down because I was doing some tree trimming. I got that up a little bit in the rain, but it is good. So crossband is up and running. You can hear occasionally the wind coming through the microphone, but it is a nice breeze, and it's currently 70 degrees. So who knew? Anyway, good morning, Hans. Thanks for joining us. All right, I'm going to do the double hand things. 14 is in, 15 is in. SWL 16, of course, right behind the monitor, right behind the camera here. Let me know what I need to do and pointing to me to where I need to look to see all these great things, and then keeping me honest. We'll be checking in some radios. Thank you, Charles, for all you do. And I saw your vacation request in on the desk. I don't do that. That's like the big brass up in OTR control, but I put in a good word for you, so maybe they'll give you some extra time. Let's go to SWL 17. SWL 18, Mr. KDA from the Facebook page, just saying hello, radio, and checking in. And they gave me one of those great Office Depot pens that do not work. I will say that loud. Don't buy any pen from Office Depot. They are really awful. Okay, let's go to that is not a paid announcement. Let's go to SWL 19. Chet has got the cue cards, and she's looking at me. Says that wasn't on the cue cards. No, it wasn't. I ad-libbing a little bit. You know, I will get us all in trouble. He's pointing to the card and said, just stick with the plan. I will do that all the way from Derby, New York. Thanks for checking in. The X is in the square. Let's go to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. And please check, besides me in, 29 and 54. And I'm trying to get a radio of interest going, but I just found out it's got an extra tube somebody put in and another one that's not in the schematic. So who knows? And they added an S meter. Little did I know. So maybe just the usual radio tonight there. Okay. Oh, last week I think I said I had a couple of radios for sale. A R68 T68 with a banana mic. That's still for sale. But the Mark III, that was sold today and delivered. And it's gone. So there we go. More stuff out of the house. My daughter loves it. Thank you, Dennis.
You're making somebody happy, Harvey. Keep it up. And it seems like an extra tube and an S meter would be a good thing, but I can see somewhere that it might not. Oh, keep this, don't answer now, but keep this question in mind because it has come up a couple of times and I've been neglecting to ask everybody, but I want to specifically ask you. Someone wrote on one of the comments about, is there a worst radio or is there something you don't recommend? So you have had the tops off of many radios, so be thinking about the one when you see it or when you have to take the screwdriver and get inside, you just, do the face palm and say, oh no. So not right now, but we'll come back to you and just maybe there's a list of radios that you really don't like to have to deal with, but sometimes you do. And we're talking, of course, tube radios. Maybe there's one that tops the list. Maybe there's a lot of them. Maybe you love them all. We don't know. So, all right, sounding good. We'll be back to you in a little bit. I wanted to say hello before they go away. Hello to Frank D, number one, checking in from Yellow Springs, Ohio, until the 24-hour ET coming in. So we got you in there. I thought I saw Ohio on the list. Centerville, Virginia, jumping in at the top there. And also from Voodoo Land, Mark 4799 from Voodoo. Where is the, you probably can't see it, but the Voodoo tag is right there. I am trying to live up my best to the Voodoo, but the guy that does it the best, the station that does it the best is listening in right now from that lake up north. One of the few radios that has pretty much the full rack of everything to go with the radio, and the kiddies as well. Do we have treats? Are there treats? No, there's no treats in the box tonight. We'll set some out, but just a few, because you gotta be careful. All right, Mark, good to have you along, and anybody else that may be listening up that way, and we'll check in with some others here in just a little bit. JG Mopar UDX 76. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us. And we are listening we're getting a check-in for SWL 21. That's Mr. JT on a mission for the FCC, I think is what he said tonight. ORN taking a hiatus, but they will be back next week. So hello to everyone who has jumped over from the old radio night. And there is the check-in for 21. Let's see if we can hear Alaska, SWL 22. SWL 23. 23 Skidoo is often on a mission from the FCC, especially when the Espresso Trucking Company is played over the air, and he usually has to write some type of a letter to telling that it will never happen again, or that he knows, but it does. This is not the treat jar. This is what's in here. This is the shortwave listeners that were on our 00, where today, for the next 8 weeks, actually, Robert and Treat's SWL 31 on our list. So I know how it is with the treat bin. SWL 24, Joseph checked in early. Let's go way out to Madera Heights for SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis, 25, checking in.
Well, you sound great. The wind is blowing. You're signaling in terrific. Hopefully you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right, thanks for joining in the Old Tube Radio Network, as you have done so many times. You are getting close to one of those stations that's getting close to 1 million check-ins, so keep it up.
Roger, and might as well proxy in 74.
I will do that.
Thank you, Dennis.
The old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glowing in the dark. Looking at the REA meter 6.7 to make sure that things are working. Kind of sort of working. All right, what else is going on? We're at page 2, and we're looking for SWL 27. Crossband is up. Let's go see what Gary's doing up in Sacramento. He always has the menu for the green room, or is it the little tray that goes around? You know, with they push that little tray with the handkerchief or whatever it is, the tablecloth, and you can get food that way. And tonight, 28, he's driving to San Diego in the morning, so no sugar tonight. Maybe a couple of Twinkies with a Coke Chaser. Okay, looks like you are on your own tonight to go to the vending machines. Notice that in the spirit of the old Tube Radio Network and the era, you will find we don't have the $25 or 25-cent cigarette machine anymore, or 50-cent cigarette machine, but we do have the 25-cent candy machine and the 10-cent Coke machine where you have to open the little door and pull the bottle out. So, one or two per person. And we'll make a little change, and we'll buy some more. Thank you, Gary, for checking in. Let's go to, we got a proxy check-in for SWL 29. And a check-in for Dwayne, who's got the radio fired up. He's already talked to the Central Valley. That was just weird. That was sort of on a half skip because the conditions were already over to the Pacific. The East Coast never came in, so I'm not sure why or how we heard him. But if there's anybody that can do it, it's that guy up in Idaho. So he may make a repeat performance tonight. We will be listening. SWL 31 00. Robert Teresa, if you are listening, and I think you already checked in, you guys are the 00. So this is your second check-in of the evening. You got the 2-for-1 card. Let's go to SWL 32. SWL 33, that would be myself, of course, and Bozo Control. Anybody who would like to get checked in, we'll make sure you get the X in the square. Can you hear that wind? It's getting even more violent. SWL 34, that would be Jimmy, Captain Chaos, and Railroader. Kind of late out there near Chicago, but we'll get them proxied in. They might come by a little bit later. They might be working on the old Tube CB Radio Network page. Here is a station that has been busy this week. And let me go to the chart. Red Mike and Communications, Mr. Bill, SWL 35. And he's checking there. He's right there 15 minutes ago, checking in from cool Cheyenne, Wyoming. Bill, good to hear you. I know if we get conditions, you guys will be jumping in on the big radio, saying hello to all the gang here and in Central California, where we owe a debt of gratitude to Mr. Bill for a lot of the stations you hear checking in. The Tube radios here in the Central Valley at one point probably were in the Red Mikey Communications shop getting peaked and tweaked or finalized or whatever they used to do to keep all the radio stations on the air here. So thanks, Bill. We appreciate it. Let's go to SWL 36. SWL 37.
Yeah, SWL 37, good evening, Dennis.
All right, radio's sounding loud, and you are sounding good. So the X is in square. Thanks for joining us.
You betcha.
Mr. Cornbread, did someone say Fresno? F-R-E-S, capital N, capital O. We certainly did. That is where we are originating from, at least this station here. But we listen for people checking in from all over the Central Valley and wherever they might drop in any state at any time. And, of course, we are live on the YouTube video where you can connect to that at oldtuberadio.net if you'd like to say hello and let us know if you've been on a Tube Radio this week or what you've been doing. Let's go to SWL 38. I hear Hippopotamus. He checked in last week for about 5 seconds. We've got it recorded. So we'll have to see if he can hear us again. 428 UDX 256 and the gang. And Charles Squamish waving a hand. Hello, Peter, Albert, and everybody else out there. Again, I did check. I did a round-the-horn Alberta, Prince George. Where was the other one? It's up. I'll have to see where it's at. Big Signal is coming in. We still don't have anything close to you guys out there on the SDR list, because I know we would be able to hear you. But actually, we don't need that. You guys can get in live and direct when the conditions are in, so keep listening. Now let's go to SWL 39. Thank you, Jed. The Frez, no way. I like that. May have to use that. We have to put that on the put that on the return addresses for OTR. SWL 40. I got a proxy in for 40. Talked to him earlier on the crossband, and I think he said he was going to do some visiting tonight, so he might be in a little bit later. But Larry, if you are listening in somewhere on the Universal Media Network, we do have you checked in. SWL 41. That is Road Dog 507, somewhere in New York tonight. And Kurt is there jumping in the Echo Link. I see Tony is on. The Echo Link is up, so we'll catch you guys here in just a moment. Matambale, that is what the department, the Chamber of Commerce would like. Frez maybe. I think they have some bumper stickers that you can get and put on your Dodge Dart. Let's go to SWL 42. Shortwave listener 43. SWL 44. Has he been around? I'll get a proxy in for Ray 360. I was in, did I check in last night? Yes, I did. I checked into the Ditch Banks sideband net. I don't remember hearing Ray, but we'll put him in. SWL 45, Paul and Kelly listening in, where it was probably a little breezy and rainy up there today, but the weather is going to be getting good. Hope you guys are okay, and we look forward to hearing you on the air. Let's go to SWL 46. And while he is there, let's jump over to SWL 95, checking in from Orlando in case you have to, because it's late. It's late everywhere but right here in Central California, in case you have to go away. I want to get you on the list tonight. So 95 out there in Orlando is checked in, out in Foreland. Trying to find page 4. We're going in order. Let's go to SWL 47. SWL 48. And I'll get 48 checked in. He's usually on the Ditch Banks net. It's the skip's coming in. He may have trouble hearing me, but Sammy, if you're out there, KP is checked in. You're not static. A lot of static in the air tonight. But signals are good. Let's see if we can check in out there, Smitty and Sweet Country Mama, SWL 49. Someone says a proxy for 49. We will do that. Let's go over to SWL 50. SWL 51. I talked to Dave earlier. I had a great conversation. His audio is sounding great. I wonder if he's listening. SWL 51.
SWL 51, checking in.
All right, and you're even louder if that's possible. Maybe it was the skip going on. Sounding good, and we've got you checked in.
All right, guys, have a good evening. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, Dave and I are going to talk audio for a long time someday. You thought my audio rack is blinking. He has got a good setup over there. Let's go to SWL 52. Proxy, they're saying proxy for Aaron. He might be in on the crossband. I know he's running the Bozo net relay, so that's good. SWL 53, Mr. Bel Air checked in moments ago. SWL 54 said a proxy check in for Board Jammer, which I will do. We're on page 3. If you're playing the home game, you should have the new check-in sheet starting at 5/3/25, which I believe is today. They're shaking their head. All right, I'm in the right time zone. And then it goes to 6/21/2025. page, what page are we on? Page 3 is where we are at. Let's go up the hill to M&M, SWL 55. Yeah, I can hear you. The skip is starting to roll in, but you're going through perfectly, so no problem. Just for kicks, 56 checked in early. Phil, if you're still listening, there is the official overhead check-in. Hear the echo links linking in the background. Let's go to SWL 57 out there in central Kentucky. Let's back up. I see your Road Dog 507, SWL 41 out there in Orange County, Ria, Hudson Valley. Good evening, everybody. There's the check-in. I got you 41. Thanks. All right, Kurt, are you on now? Hold on. Let me. Since Kurt is in, let me go to. Let me see if I can do this. I think I've got it set up. Let me go to the Echo link and get Kurt on before his wacky internet does wacky stuff. Should we get Kurt on the link up here? Oh, yeah, he's...
Yeah, KB6GFD in the net. This is Whiskey 9 Kilo Echo Charlie, SWL 96 checking in. Dennis, got to tell you, might have some sad news for you. I'm transferring the 10-Tech to the secondary rig. I bought another radio. I found a deal on eBay that I couldn't pass up. I got me an ICOM 756. Not the Pro version. This is the one that started it all. ICOM's flagship back in the day. And this thing, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. But anyways, we won't tie you up, Dennis. Thanks so much for taking the net, as always. And I will see you all next week. KB6GFD in the net, W9KEC.
All right, very good. Well, you've got some contacts. It is a good second rig. It will look good. Make sure you can display it on the shelf somewhere. The ICOM 756. You are right. In fact, we were having a conversation the other day about how many 756s there were, and I believe, and I think Mark said that there were 3. There was the 56, the Pro 2, and the Pro 3. And back in the day when we were chatting with Art Bell, he used to run either a Pro 2 or a Pro 3 before he jumped into some of the big, like the ASU 9000. It's a good rig. You're going to enjoy it. There's a lot of info on that radio. Receive should be pretty good, so enjoy that. And we'll see. Whenever I catch you on the air, we'll see which one I'll talk to you on. All right, 73 to you. Thanks for jumping in, and we will catch you next time.
Oh, and just to correct you, Dennis, there was actually 4. There was the 756, the Pro 2, and the Pro 3. So, yeah, this one's the older one with the monochrome screen, and that's really the only difference. So, anyways, thanks, Dennis. 73 W9KEC.
Thanks for the correction. I wasn't listening on the conversation. So that's right. There was the 3.2 Pro and the 756. And I don't know the production numbers. I don't know which one they made the most of. But it was it probably was the radio. Now it's a 7300. They're probably selling the most. But I remember that was gee whiz. We're talking, the mid to late 80s and the 90s as the Pro line came out. And ICOM... That way, it was either that or a Kenwood, 440 or a 450, something like that. So 73 to you. Thanks for jumping in. 73.
And break OTR, Dennis.
Yeah, the break OTR. This is a familiar voice. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Roger here, Dennis. Been a long time. I don't know if you can get a good copy of me. I'm not on a ground plane. I'm on a 7 beam on the flat, so I'm having a little trouble hearing you, but I wanted to check in where I could still hear you a little bit. I'm trying not to be rude. SWL 66.
All right, Jim, SWL 66. I was going to flip over to my horizontal wire, and I realized it's not up. I did some tree trimming, and I took down the 40-meter wire, but it's horizontal. So, yeah, we're vertical to horizontal, probably at least a 20 dB difference there, but you're sounding good. SWL 66. And Mr. Witch Doctor, Jim, it is sounding good, and it's always good when you jump in. It's like, where did that guy come from? But it's like, well, I've been here all the time. Just sometimes it takes a while to get the radio up to 27085. You're sounding good.
Jim, use my old numbers. I hope they're still good. Hey, Dennis, SWL 66. I'll get a ground plane up soon.
All right, Jim, Mr. Witch Doctor, you are sounding good, and we have you checked in at 66. Thanks for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Yes, sir. Real good copy on you that time. And thank you much. And tell others out there, excuse me. I'll get out of the way.
All right, good to hear from Jim. He's been on the list. He's been around since long before OTR started, and OTR started a long time ago. It's always nice to have Jim, Mr. Witch Doctor, jump in. He's one of the legends here in the Central Valley. Thanks, Jim.
Yes, sir. Take care. Thank you much.
We are on, where are we? Page 3, direct and net roll call. We will have, if you're tuning in for the radios, they will be up soon. Shaking their head. Yeah, we'll be up soon with some radios tonight, and I know we have at least 2 or 3 coming in. So if you're looking at your shelf and you think, oh yeah, that's one of those glow-in-the-dark radios, this is the place to turn it on for a moment or two so we can get it checked in. Back to the roll call. 56 was in. 57 was in. Brown Dog Audio from Central Kentucky. Who else? Let's go to SWL 58. SWL 59, I do believe 59 was in when I turned on the video thing long ago. So, Uncle Hairball, I put an X in the square for you. I think you're still awake. And there's SWL 38. Sam, a hippopotamus was out there, but not for long. He actually checked in last week direct. He heard me, and I know he can hear you, but we got you checked in now. And thank you, Dwayne. The Saturday night place to be. You know what? I never do this. The jingle singers are glad to be acknowledged, and so let's tell people about the favorite spot here on Saturdays.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
The place for you, and maybe even you. Thank you to the jingle singers. Also, while he is here, Radio Randy, KK7 TV, SWL 99. I'm going to get you checked in as well. Wonder what your weather is like. A little storm just blew through the Central Valley here. I don't know if you guys have wind, rain. It's probably 95 degrees, right? And you've got the air conditioning running. So we'll make it down. Occasionally I'll go down to 75 and tune around to see where the wide, not the wise, well, maybe the wise, but the wide guys are, and the conditions haven't been too good for me. And then my antenna's down right now, the 75 meter. But we'll get that back up and give you guys a chat. So thanks for taking some time out and jumping up here. Okay, got it. Jumping up here to the 11-meter band where there are no conditions unless you are somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. But keep listening. And thanks for the number there. Okay, then Randy is in. Let's go back to page 3.
Quick question.
And this is your quick question frequency.
Can I ask, do you really need to wait a half hour to go swimming after you ate?
That is one of those things, I think, if you look at the list, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, wait a half an hour before you go swimming. And maybe that's just if you're an Olympic swimmer so you don't get cramps, and it probably depends on what you are eating and the size of the pool. I mean, if you're jumping in the deep end, maybe. If you're in the little waiting thing, I don't know. Anyway, 47. If you were to look on the video thing going, you would notice that above my head, there's a 47 with an X in the square. And let me know if you ever find the answer to that. Over.
Oh, good. Thank you. Well, I guess we do have somewhat of an answer that if you have a vacuum tube radio turned on for less than a half hour, it's still okay, sort of, to transmit.
Yeah, in fact, we came up scientifically, unless the radio's got big problems, 2 to 5 minutes. You should never just turn it on and talk. But again, you're only at 5 watts. The more power you have, the longer you might want it to warm up. And it depends on the tubes you have, too. If you got nobody has the 3500Z in their CB radio, but your sweep tubes and all those other ones, 2 to 5 minutes, you should be good. And then your radio still might not be on frequency, but at least you can feel good about it.
Okay, well, then I prescribe for everyone, eat like a really nasty, huge Italian meal, and then go swimming 2 minutes after, because that's what this radio had. So there it is from Dr. 47.
All right, 47 checked. How many had that Italian meal tonight? Raise your hand. Randy's saying, it's every night over there, right? So now you're making me hungry. What is in the green room tonight? Oh, that's right. It's the vending machine night. So, yeah, don't talk about food. You are checked in, and we will be checking in radios later. So keep that in mind. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair. The real radios we talk about will be coming up in just a little bit after the roll call. So stay tuned or mark your calendar, whatever it is you are supposed to do. We are also streaming live at oldtuberadio.net, and there's a video going on that you may be watching or not in the future or the past. Let me go back to the roll call, and we'll say SWL 40.
SWL 40 checking in on a very blustery day.
Yeah, I noticed I got the window open and it's messing with my condenser microphone here. 40 is in. I figured that you were out at doing the visiting and you might check in at some point. So we left the porch light on. You are checked in.
Roger. Yeah, I just come back from Clovis, and wow, I was fighting westerly wind all the way home.
It's nasty. It's messing with the microphone here tonight. I could not run Vox. In fact, you might be able to hear it right now blowing into the. And I've got a windscreen on, so it's nasty. All right, well, I'm glad you're back. Go comb your hair, and we'll talk to you later. The Old Tube Radio Network. Matombele, pizza New York style fabulous. I didn't even know what that was. I'm a West Coast guy, and we were working with the United Way, doing some stuff. This is 40 years ago, and the guy in charge, Tony, from New York, and something happened. He says he made pizza, but he prefaces this is New York style pizza, because he says you guys on the West Coast don't have a clue what that is, and it was totally different. It was not your local whatever we have here. It wasn't bad. It's almost like a cracker. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, but I remember it was New York style pizza, and we were like, well, this isn't like anything we've seen, but he homemade, and it was real good. So let's not talk about food. Going back to the roll call, page 3. I will get through this. I know I will. Uncle Hairball, 59, checking you guys in. Let's go to, Joe. Thanks for being patient. SWL 60.
No problem. They're done it. Doggone it. SWL 60, they're checking in. I really did appreciate those jingle singers.
I just had to do it. They were ready. They were excited about all the people listening in, and the radio's coming up, and that is good, because a lot of times they're just sitting over in the corner. We don't allow them to do that phone thing, so they're on their dial phones. They're using their phones, but it's the dial phone. Takes a while. They call each other, but tonight they are ready. They are ready to do what they do best. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
Let me check. Neil is in, and it's late over there. SWL 147 in the land of Kakalaki. I don't know. You've got an early call for something, but thanks for staying up late to join us now. I've got the X in the score. What's going on out there? Decent conditions on 27.385 lower side band. Do you ever just switch to the upper side and see if there's stations? If you've got a good radio with filtering, you can hear them. I don't know. It might not be that great for the other stations on lower side band that don't have the good radios, but I always thought I wonder if anybody's listening on upper side band. Stations across the pond in the UK, which you guys can hear. It's very tough for us to hear on the West Coast. Came across West Coast audible, trouble getting back, weather in the mid-80s. Wow. Dr. Jazz, we're sending you some not in the mid-80s weather probably. But there was some weird Gulf Stream thing. They said it was reversed. Looked at the picture. Everything, instead of going up and over, it was going under. So you guys, that's why you were getting you are getting the weather you're getting. Thanks for checking in. We are looking for SWL 61. Dino. Okay, I guess I was skip. SWL 61. I'll give Copenhagen a proxy check, and he might be in. Usually he gets in early. We had a little bit of skip. Let's go to SWL 62. If I don't break the microphone here. SWL 63.
This is KVLS.
SWL 64. Craig was in early when we opened up shop here this afternoon, getting things on the air, and I'll get an X in the square if you're still out there in Wisconsin. There is a Kiwi SDR up in Wisconsin. It's a 9 call. I can't remember the suffix, but boy, they have a really good receiver. I can hit that thing with at night on 40 meters on 20 watts. So I bet you and I could chat after the sun goes down on 40 meters if you are capable on that one and have an antenna. So 64 is in. Let's go to SWL 65. SWL 66, you just heard the inimitable witch doctor checking in cross polarity. It's sort of like an annual sighting, I think, for Jim. He's been on the list a long time, so good to hear Jim in there. Let's go over to SWL 67, and I bet Bill is over at altituberadio.net. I will refresh the page there. I will put an X in the square because I know he is there checking in about an hour ago on a nice sunny day. Well, that's interesting that we got the storm, and you guys that usually get the storm first having a nice sunny day, and that's a good thing. Thanks for jumping in tonight, Bill. Let's go to SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny checked in earlier from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, Kenny, if you are still listening, I will get the X in the square for you. If you're watching the replay, hello, radio. Okay, so USB guys are coming in from South America, sounds like, on 38 lower. We've got 68, 69, SWL 70.
Just made it, Dennis. Hello. 70 checking in. Over.
Sounding good. That was me on Wednesday night. I came in like 5 seconds late. And so I did get checked in. So, I've been kind of dragging my feet here, getting everybody checked in. Boy, I'll tell you, that radio sounds, I don't know how you've got it adjusted, but it sure sounds good on AM, and it's usually hard to do that. So put the Post-it on it. Sounding good. Hopefully it's not too wacky and windy up there.
No, I have no idea what's going on, but that sounds good. Hey, happy Saturday, 70.
All right, likewise. Thanks for joining us here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Going from up in Prather to, where are we going? 71, out in Dallas, Georgia. And I think Stan was in earlier. I thought I saw somebody in there. Let me refresh. Hello to Roseville. Roseville just walked in the door up in the balcony. So I'll put a proxy in for Stan. He might be testing or doing some stuff tonight, so we'll check in there. Next is SWL 72. Okay, I just realized I can turn my my audio gain up a little bit because I'm not running the Vox, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Let's go to SWL 73. John checked in earlier on the crossband. Good to hear, John. We got a proxy for SWL 74, Miss Jilly, and we are looking for SWL 75, 356 BYU. Making sure I didn't miss anybody. I've got to scroll up to the beginning of the the video list, because there are some people up there that I didn't say hello to. Let's go to SWL 76. Somebody asking how old the list is. Well, this is the new list for the 8 weeks, but the way we work it, so we don't have 10,000 shortwave listeners, there's sort of a finite number. And this list has been sort of revolving since like 1986 or 87, whenever we started doing the SWL part of it. And so the reason we have an 8-week roster is it fits on the paper. And then in theory, if somebody didn't check in for 8 weeks, we figured, well, they had fun, but they're on to different things. So we would reissue the number. So that's why some people have different numbers or multiple numbers. They come back, and I kid you not, they come back 25 years later and they say, I think I was this number. And it's like, well, it's not there, but we can get you back on the list. And then, of course, you don't need to be on any list or have any numbers. And there are some people that have been on this list for almost 40 years with the same number. So go figure. But it's numbers or not. We're glad you're here. The main thing is if you've got a radio, we want to hear it. You will get in trouble if you have a radio and do not check in. Let's go to SWL 77. Proxy for 1017, which I will do. Let's go to SWL 78. SWL 79. Hippopotamus. I know you can hear me out there. Mr. DC, I heard him earlier, so let's put the X in the square for 79. Over to SWL 80. Hippopotamus. He's talking to all those big strapper stations in LA and San Francisco that are running the multiple wattage devices. SWL 80. Page 4, SWL 81. SWL 82.
82, checking in from the ditch banks of Biola. Good evening.
Yeah, well, you can hear hippopotamus out there. The skip is light, and that's not bad. Did you get rained out today? I figured you would be out doing something.
Coconut stuff, plug it in, man. How dare you being rude there, little boy. Right. 82's here.
All right, yeah, we got you 82. I figured you might be out doing something, but maybe you got rained out.
Look like it's going to be bad weather. A little windy, so here I am.
All right, you're making it through hippopotamus, no problem. 82 is checked in, and that is the voice of the Ditch Banks sideband net. You can check it out, tune it in, get on Friday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 27-365. There's a spot to be checked in for visitors or Skipland, and there's a big group here locally. So tune it in, won't you? Let's go to SWL 83. Who's 83? That's just JZ. Let's see who's checked in. Who's checked in on this page? All right, we're doing okay. Let's go. And I know there's a delay, so I always look if there's a delay on the internet to make sure everybody gets checked in. Let's go to the group here, SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88. Of course, that is in chronological order, or respectively, I guess they say. The Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. Thanks for all you have done over the years for the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 89. And there is Foxman 362 on the CB radio late on a Saturday evening. Up there is at Rockwood, giving us lots of video. Make sure you get over to Foxman 362 on YouTube and look at what happens when you have a good radio station. Who you can talk to and who talks back to you. Thanks for joining us tonight, 362. Enjoy the videos. Let's go over to SWL 90. SWL 91, Felix. He doesn't have to get here early anymore, but he is. He's usually here right on time. So got you checked in. 91, looking good. And thanks for the last 8 weeks at 00. This period, mark your home game. SWL 31, Robert and Teresa in the 00 spot. Let's go over to Mr. Roman, SWL 92. SWL 93.
Hey, good evening, Yellow. Dennis, sorry about that. and all the SWLs out there. Guys, hope you guys have a good rest of the evening. Like I said, sounding good, Dennis. Good to hear you. And we're standing by.
All right, likewise, sounding good. You're sounding more and more, and I know you don't have the big beam that he's got. You were sounding more and more like John, like MMM. So sounding good. You're gonna have people breaking the pileups, calling you Motor Mouth Mall, but you're sounding good.
I appreciate that, Dennis. I just try to make it my own, you know. Anyways, everybody have a good evening. 93, standing by.
All right, thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network, sounding good and making the meters move here on the Orban. What is the official? And this is a downloadable thing. The Orban loudness meter. I think you can Google that. ORBAN loudness meter, and it's a download. And that's what you see up on one of the corners if you're watching the video. It's a free thing from Robert Orban, the laboratories. It gives you all sorts of ways to check at least your incoming streaming audio. And if you're running an audio board, actually, and you can run the board into your computer, it's actually a good way to kind of check where your levels are. Let's go to SWL 95. Warthog 95 checked in moments ago, so we will get him there. SWL 96, you heard Kurt on the Echo link sounding good on the link up from Kokomo. Looking forward to the ICOM 756. That's a kind of a rare rig these days. It was the big thing back in the day. Let's go to Boston, SWL 97. Beagleman 888, thanks for joining us here, the Old Tube Radio Network. We should have some glow-in-the-dark radios coming up shortly. 97. All right, let's go to 98. And Tracy, who is listening in. And a reminder that you stations out there, if you're listening in or you're having contacts with the Central Valley here on whatever frequency, down below Channel 1 on the AM/FM side or sideband, wherever you might be, check out the Facebook Central Valley CBers and let us know that you heard us, or let us know you're on the air so we can find you, have a chat, to post your picture of your stations there as well. So, Tracy, got you checked in. Did I put the X in the square? Yes, I did. Let's go 99 Radio. Randy was in moments ago. And that should shake us, that'll take us over to, and I got to fire it up here. Let me see if it's still working. Yeah, that's still working. Go over to the Echo link, and we'll see what Tony is doing. Way out there in McClellanville, South Carolina, and he's getting ready to fire up the tubes on the air. KD4BAO from KB6GFD.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. We're getting ready for tubes on the air here. Good to hear you. Back to net control. Please check in SWL 100, KD4BAO.
And I will do that. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to make sure the little icon is so that you are keyed up. It's sounding good. Good audio as always. Good connection from way out there. We appreciate the extra effort to make sure that the tubes get beaconing on the airwaves as they should. 73 to you, and thanks for checking in. KD4BAO, KB6GFD.
The mouth is out. Click.
I found my pen. We are on page 4 if you're following along. This guy is ready to check in, and there he is right now. He has the E.F. Hutton sound. What is the E.F. Hutton sound? Please check in 102. Got his hand up like Horseshack from Welcome Back, Cotter. Pick me. Well, here it is. Sometimes if you are patient, especially with the roll call the way I do it, it's like you're ready to check in, and then all of a sudden the net controller takes a 90-degree turn, and he's talking to somebody else somewhere. It's like follow the script. You don't see what happens behind here when Charlie and Chet are trying to direct me into the cue cards and what I should be doing. 102 looking good as always out there in beautiful. Where are you at? Beautiful Scranton, Arkansas. Let's go to SWL 103. And that, of course, is Joey. Storm coming in now, so he's checking in early. I don't know if he's got the radio on. If it's not safe, don't do that. But we've got you checked in now from South Carolina, 103. Okay, where else have we got? Oh, let me take another. We got another celebrity online. And I always like to acknowledge fellow ESSB radios and people that come up from different frequencies to check us out and say hello to the tube radio operators and the shortwave listeners. And here is one from Radio Free. He has been around. We talk about the old tube radio being on there for 40 years. Here's another station that has been involved with radio for about that amount of time and making it sound good all the way around. And now even better, the trio. We will check that out. JR's got the new Behringer. Of course, there's the Voodoo guys. And now the latest and greatest, and probably, I would say, the only station on the West Coast. In fact, I would say the only station anywhere that is using Bob Orban's latest device, the trio. We've got the Orban meter here on OTR, but we do not have the trio. We've got the Wheatstone version, and that is old hat these days. So we'll look forward to that. Good stuff. We'll figure out what flavor you want, whether you're AM, FM, or what is it, HD or digital. Sounds like fun. And the blinky lights, it's worth the price of admission. Thanks for joining us there, Scott. Let's go over to SWL 109. Hello, 109 up the hill. Mr. Crawdad was on the ditch banks last night and sounding really good, so I'll give him in the X in the square because he's probably got some stuff going on as usual. Who is that? Kai says he's a newbie to the old tube radio network. Well, that's okay. It's not a club. No dues, no fees. Don't have to have any numbers on any piece of paper, and don't even have to have an old tube radio. But glad you are here. Oscar Mike in Zero Land somewhere. All right. Well, maybe we will chat. Thanks for joining us on OTR. Let's go to SWL 110. They're giving me the speed up sign. It's like it's radio time. I know. SWL 111. Robert checked in. He's on the audio replay, checking in from beautiful Reedley Town. Let's go to SWL 13. I'm sorry, SWL 113. In fact, 13, I don't see 13 yet. I think I gave him a proxy. SWL 113. Hello, who said hello out there? Okay, I heard a hello, but I've got 4 different places where you could be. How about SWL 114? I know where you're going to be, what speaker you're be coming out of, 114.
114, checking in.
Yeah, when Wayne keys up, or is it keys down? When he's transmitting, I never am clueless as to who it is and where it's coming from. Thank you, Wayne. You're sounding good.
Thank you for the check-in, Dennis.
10 and 30, the Jumping Dolphins are back. Let me just re-up a 10 above my head there. Yeah. And the 30. Dwayne has got the radio, and he's already talked to Chowchilla. He's just waiting for Fresno. It's like, what's up with you guys there in Clovis and Madera and Fresno? When Chowchilla can come in, you guys should be able to make the trip. Let's go to SWL 128. John is listening in over at oldtuberadio.net about 30 minutes ago. Hey, John, thanks for jumping in and saying hello, radio. Who's new? Modesto. Modesto is one of those places that is too close on the ground wave and probably too close on the tropospheric ducting. I don't know, maybe for backscatter. But hello to Modesto. And John, we've got you 120, we got you checked. Okay, somebody on the crossband, and it is in my noise, but we'll try again. I think we got some, what do they say, clouds in the way. SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133. SWL 135.
Hello, SWL 135 checking in.
135 sounding good. A portent of things to come in tube radios. Good deal. Keep it warm. We'll check it in here in minutes. I don't know if anybody is on the crossband that can hear the station. I think they're trying to check in, but they are in my noise level. SWL 137. Let me see if I can get them. I hear somebody in there. Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. Over. Hey, you're just right in my squelch level. Over. All right, you know what? I trimmed, it is SWL 13. I trimmed the tree finally, and the antenna's out of the tree, and now I'm hearing you. So all I have to do is maybe get the thing up another 10 feet, and you are coming in direct. So good deal. All right. Thanks for the extra effort and a live check-in. I haven't had one of those in a while from 13. Thanks so much. KB6 GFD.
Checking in.
All right, I'm going to get one more since I can actually hear a little bit. 145, I hear you on the crossband, and we will get you checked in as well. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, thank you. 73 from KB6 GFD.
J6 PD, and I'm clear.
Okay, well, that was a well-timed segment there. 135 is in. We call 137, SWL 145. That's Tony, was just checked in on the two-way radio. And SWL 13 just checked in on the crossband as well. SWL 147, Neil checked in moments ago on the Universal Media NetWeb, where it is nice and sunny. Let's see if the antenna is pointed our way on the west side of town here. SWL 188.
Let's give him a proxy tonight, Dennis.
I will do that, because I can hear him whether he is flat side or vertical, or maybe even if the back door is pointed towards Australia tonight. Thanks, and we've got Bobby checked in. Let's go up the hill to Course Gold, SWL 195.
195, checking in, Dennis.
All right, 195. Sounding good, Jim. Your station is working the room here tonight, so... tree trimming didn't make any difference for this band, but you've got it going. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, sir.
That's Jim up in Course Gold. Been on the he is approaching his 1 millionth check-in, I think. And then over to SWL 226, Mr. Shockwave. And then checking for any late check-ins or anybody I missed. Now is a good time to say hello, radio. And we will quickly, since Tony left us some questions here, do the questions of the evening, such that it were. And question number one, we'll just jump right into it here. And I have not seen these before, so of course I don't know the answer. And even if I do know the answer, I still don't know the answer. The question, the TX, the Tango X-Ray 62 tube transmitter, was manufactured by which company? So this is a transmitter, not a transceiver, but a TX62 tube transmitter was manufactured by which company? Was it A, Hallicrafters, B, Hammerland, C, Amico, A-M-E-C-O, or D, Heathkit? Now, you kind of know the Heathkit had GW numbers. Hallicrafters, what did they had HT numbers. Hammerland had HQ numbers. I mean, that's at least for what we know. I could be wrong about this. And then Amico, I had an Amico preamp, and I thought it was like a PT something. So it's the TX62. So the TX62 tube transmitter was manufactured by Hallicrafters, Hammerland, Amico, or Heathkit. And the answer is, let me scroll down, the answer is Amico. And I think that's sort of what I deduced by saying it wasn't the other guy. So, all right, hopefully that was your answer. That was C. Let's go to answer question number 2. And it is, with gray line region propagation, the transition areas between darkness and daylight is called what? I thought what's the gray line? Okay. With gray line region propagation, the transition areas between darkness and daylight are called what? And this is not a multiple choice question, so I'll just go ahead and read it. It's answer. The terminator is the visual line separating the sunlit side of a planet from its dark side, while gray line is the period of time and region along the terminator where certain radio propagation conditions are favorable. So the gray line, with gray line region propagation, the transition areas between darkness and, I guess that's the terminator, is the visual line separating. So the terminator is that imaginary visual line when you look at some chart, or maybe you have one of those geochron clocks that shows you that terminator line. And it is the sunlit side and the dark side, and the gray line is the period of time and the region along the terminator where the certain radio propagations are favorable. And we hear it all the time here on OTR, and you can see back in the window, it's getting dark, and all of a sudden, here comes, if it was quiet, here comes the skip from the Pacific Islands, from Australia, New Zealand, and Hawaii. And that's sort of what our gray line does. And then when the East Coast guys, Midwest, are on their gray line, we're hearing them. We're coming. We're like the Hawaii is to us. We're coming into them, and then it gets dark, and it shuts off. So, I guess that's the way it works. Propagation is a cool thing. So are tube radios, and we are going to get to them. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, setting up for that. Make sure you are warmed up. We're going to get you the old Tube Radio Network back in a bit.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Sorry about that, Dennis. I know you're trying to get stuff done real quick. Hey, I just wanted to thank you for the help last weekend with all the stuff we were doing. Just want to say thank you again, man. I appreciate it a lot. Appreciate you a whole lot. Anyways, have a good night, man. That was all.
All right, well, thanks for that. And we've had a couple of the Voodoo audio guys come by tonight because they comment about how good the stations sound, and we've got Mark and Scott came by. Scott just picked up the Orban Trio to put in his line. Mark runs a lot of the really nice tube audio gear. So we got a lot of stations that when they're listening in, they hear the replay, they appreciate, and the nice audio coming through. And that's a whole thing in itself. You know, if you don't want to get inside and fool with the peaking and tweaking the radio, there is this whole world of magic between the microphone connection and the radio connection itself. And that's what the audio things do. All right, sounding good. And we will be back in a minute with the tube radio check-ins. And Steve just got another Centurion going. All right. I'll have to check my log. I don't know if I've ever talked to somebody on a 10-tech Centurion. I know the Omni 4, and I bet in my CW days, what was it, the Argonaut? I bet I've got some CW contacts on. I didn't have one, but, you know, somebody says my rig is, and you write it down on the log. So I'll have to see. I'll listen for the Centurions. There probably aren't many out there. Oh, yeah, listen to that static coming in tonight. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I adjusted the squelch a little bit. Don't have to listen to all that. Back into the air chair. I think we are ready. Let me find the jingle singers and we'll do our best. We're ready for some tube radios.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, the crowd is going wild, and they are applauding for you, the tube radio operator extraordinaire, with your fares and wares, whether there be one on the shelf or 30, pick one or two, as many as you want, and get ready to check them in. The Old Tube Radio Network is saying, we are listening for any and all check-ins, over.
135, 135.
14.
All right, 2 Hurt, 135 and 14. And I'm looking for my pen. And Charlie's saying, why don't you use one of those pens that's in your pocket protector? So let's see. In order, we heard them. Sean, we will get you in a moment. Jump into the green room, but keep looking for that, whatever they do, some red flashing light that lets you know when it's your turn to go. And stepping up to the air chair here a little bit after 9:15, and a Pacific Daylight Time will be the green arrow. I'm on King, and it's out to 135.
Okay, great. It's my turn then. All right. I won't spend too much time on this radio because it's the same one I checked in last week. But there's been some surgeries performed, and as you can hear, the patient survived. From ECI, Electronics Communications Incorporated, this is the Courier 23. There are 10 tubes, but 24 channels. It actually has channel 24 in it. In between channel 22 and channel 23, somebody put it in there. It's a blank spot on the the channel indicator, but it is there. 27. Was it 235? I think it is, and it works quite well. Very strange. Okay, so if you remember last week, I was using the non-amplified plastic handheld microphone made by Aesthetic, and we were having some hum issues because we were in the range boost position. Currently, I am in the range boost off position, and it seems to work okay. I'm also using an amplified gray bass G-Stand D104 right now to help give a little more audio to the non-range boost position. Briefly, to demonstrate the problem which we were more or less unable to solve, except in this current manner, I'm going to turn the range boost on. Hello, audio, and it should probably sound like the Daleks from Doctor Who. Exterminate! So we'll just turn that off because it's probably very annoying. What did that do, or did I successfully get that switch off?
You successfully got the switch off, and it's a clean break. It doesn't go, crunch, and then it tries to work. It's a definitive, it's not on, and it's a definitive, it's on. Mainly because we can hear you get louder, and then it also brings in whatever the anomaly is in that circuit. Kind of strange, unless it adds a tube that's not good or something. You do get louder. I had the Orban LKFS meter, and it was starting to go up towards 0. Another dB or so. So, yeah, you hear loudness, but the quality goes down because of the AC note, which is actually more pronounced, I think, than it was last week. But boy, does it sound, and we're getting some good comments, does it sound good with the combination of no range boost, but using the microphonium to do the amplification and the audio. Over.
Right. Yeah, Harvey and I went through all that. The reason the switches are working so well now is because I cleaned everything like 100 times to make sure, that these weren't the problems or the issues. The CBPA switch now works very nicely, and the range boost on and off. If they get dusty and dirty, strange things happen. The channel selector is nice and clean, and I've got all my channels back. Oh yeah, that was one improvement there. Some of my channels didn't work because it seems some of the crystals were dangling by one wire, and Harvey quickly fixed those guys up, and what do you know, voila, we've got all the channels. But yeah, that's probably why it sounded worse in the range boost position, because this is an amplified mic, amplified D104, so it's going to put even more nastiness into an already nasty circuit. We checked the tubes, replaced one oscillator tube. What else? All kinds of stuff. You remember we all suspected the capacitors. The capacitors were just fine, so that wasn't the issue. There's a diode in the audio circuit here, which I strongly suspected, because it almost kind of sounds like fold-back current, doesn't it? But the diode is just fine, so it is still a mystery.
Indeed, but nice loud audio. One of the comments, who's that? Chris, it sounds like he's sitting right next to me. So no, it's good. Sounds nice and loud, and the quality with that D104 mic and the radio is not pinching up any of the frequencies. It's a full spectrum, so it does sound. This has a very good FM quality to it. Let's see. I'm looking. Sam's number 8. The radio that we're displaying, if you were to be at oldtuberadio.net and see the picture there, or you're watching the video, that is Cliff's radio, the one he's talking about right now. He sent a picture in long ago. You can always tell his radios are tuned to channel 11 in hopes that OTR will soon be there. And here we are. Take another transmission.
Yeah, it is a long time ago now, huh? This was my 3rd or 4th old tube CB radio. So yeah, it's set in a Wayback Machine. Audio. Hey, I'm getting pretty good power out right now. And I'm still as right on frequency as this thing is ever going to be. It's flickering between 0850 and 0851. So that's just a 60-year-old radio just isn't going to be more accurate than that. Thanks for letting me check it in. Like I say, I know it's a repeat of last week. I promise next week I'll get into something else as soon as I figure that out. But I just wanted to have a record of this, and so that I can listen to it. Because I listened to last week's replay, and I just went, oh man, yeah, that's unacceptable. We got to do something. Again, thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll see you next week.
Indeed. Looking good, sounding good. Now, here's something to think about. I don't know if it would provide any info on where the issue might be. I think we discussed last week it has CB and PA. You could put in the external speaker and go to the PA. And the question is, does the range boost work, or is it functional when you're in the PA mode? And, you could flip it on and off like it doesn't do anything. So that would be out of the circuit, but it might be in. And you're just like, well, I don't hear when I'm on PA. I don't hear the buzz because it's sampling the audio before, it right out of the amplifier before it gets into something else. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here, and that may not work because it might not be part of it. But that would be something to check to see if the range boost circuit works with the PA. And then if it does, if it has the same issue when it taps it out of the PA, whether the PA is picking it up. All right. Radio number 1, Courier 23. Sounding good, looking good. And that is why we're here, the Old Tube Radio Network, so people can come back, check their microphones, do something, come back, listen, check it out. Good stuff. So thanks for bringing it by.
One more quick note.
This is the quick note frequency. Go ahead.
Yeah, we did not try that trick. I'll think about that. I'll grab a speaker and see what I can or cannot determine from that. But here's another problem. For those of you, anybody out there who has one or wants to get one, the SAMS number 8, interestingly enough, does not include the range boost circuit or switch. So, like I say, a lot of that we kind of had to dive in and divulge for ourselves. Yeah, that was kind of annoying because it's somewhere in that range boost circuit that obviously, here it's working okay, right? So, yeah, the range boost circuit though is not in the SAMs, and so yeah, I wonder if it is in the entire audio. See, that would isolate the RF or the audio chain is what you're talking about, right?
Right, because it's got to tap out somewhere, maybe right after the audio amplifier to go to the PA, because it doesn't need all that other stuff. And it's like, hey, you don't hear it there, and then you can say, well, it's after the fact.
Right, that's a good idea. I'll check that out before I put things away tonight. I'm sure the neighbors will really love that. Thanks for the idea there, and I'll talk to Harvey about it, see what he thinks. Okay, once again, thanks, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, you can put the speaker up on the roof and do the citizens, do not be afraid. It's just got like a 1950s movie. The Courier 23 looking good here on the Old Tube Radio Network. I want to say hello to a couple of stations that just jumped in. We've got, of course, because it was so, the skip was so lousy today on 27025. Even Motormouth Mall, I think, went away and was gardening today. But here he is, live and direct, checking in from wherever he is, doing the checkup, 007 Extreme CB, making it down here to 270, or up here to 27085. And we're always glad when he brings the caravan and the RV up to the Old Tube Radio Network to say hello, radio. So, hello, Frank. And then one of the guys who may know how to get the buzz out of the range boost. You never know. And S9 Radio, Greg is joining us tonight. Hope you guys. We had a little bit of wacky weather here. I'm not sure what was coming up from your way or not. Temperatures weren't that cold, so I know you guys aren't getting snow up in the mountains. But Wiki Whack up there in SoCal. Big Bear joining us. Always a treat when Greg is able to join us and follow along, right along with the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's head over to Sangertown. I will unkey, and the voice you will hear will be coming on some radio that I have yet. I don't know what it is, but it sure is loud. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're hearing me. Yeah, I'm checking in tonight on the Robin T123, and I'm on a amplified D104 desk mic. This is probably one of my favorite sounding radios, but the skip is starting to roll in on me here, so hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, it just came back again, so maybe we're going into their gray line. I don't know. And you're on the 123, 123 over? Oh yeah, see, I got them squelched out, but you should be on the Magic Eye 123. And we'll put it up. And who else? It's Mike on. He's got the 123B and the 123, and I always think his 123. I don't know why, but I always think it sounds better. Maybe it's just that Magic Eye tube, but we can hear you fine through the skip. Over.
Okay, yeah, I got you that time. Yeah, it's the Magic Eye Tube radio, and I love the color of it. It's like a seafoam green, and it's got the green Magic Eye Tube that is fully closing right now, so I know that I'm modulating. It's got a meter that wiggles also when I talk on it, and this radio does have a copper chassis when you take the case off. Real nice radio. It came from the collection of Ed, and like I said, it's one of my favorite sounding radios.
It is nice. Now, you're coming over the skip, but it's weird. I don't hear them until you key up. It's like they heterodyne in with your signal, but your audio is so loud it just comes right over whatever heterodyne is going on. A cooler radio. I don't see many of these out and about, but if somebody was looking for a really loud talker that is a cool testament to tube radio stuff, and of course it's got the magic eye, this would be one to look for. All the ones that have checked in always sound good. So, and again, we're sort of doing the amplified microphones tonight. They can be adjusted correctly for the radios. And on a tube radio, back before you had to put a lot of modulation clipper circuits, and the FCC said, nah, you got to start compressing the audio, and we don't want it going out of, and we won't type accept it unless you can prove that you'll never be over 100%. These older radios will do that for you with the proper microphoniums. Back to you if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's Australia definitely coming in there. I could hear the guy pretty good there for a little bit. But yeah, the old Magic Eye tube, I really like that feature. It adds a lot to the radio, especially when you're thinking about collecting something, and the Magic Eye is appealing. For example, my gong set, but it's a crummy radio as far as trying to transmit to Fresno. This one, on the other hand, it transmits well. It'll talk wherever I want it to, and I've shot skip with it, and had a good time with this radio, and I enjoy checking it in. Like I said, I like the way this one sounds.
Yeah, there are two other stations locally that have that, and it's the same thing. They're always loud. You can have a non-amplified microphone or an amplified microphone, however they're adjusted, but the amplified microphones always seem to work well on that. And great audio. Hope you can hear the replay. You're coming through fine, a little bit of background audio coming in from the skip or whatever's going on, but boy, is it loud. And you look and you think, why is that only... Why is that only S9? Sounds like 20 over 9. From Robin, R-O-B-Y-N, this is the I don't know if this is a Panasonic chassis or not. I bet 23s could do and would know, but it's definitely a different animal from the 23B, but definitely a keeper. It looks cool. It's a favorite radio with the crowd, and you're all getting good reports for the audio. So back to you for transmission, and thanks for Radio 2, or the Robin T123.
Yeah, I appreciate the time for the old Robin, and perfect timing there, because Australia's really starting to come in now, and hopefully it's not that foul-mouthed guy. I can't stand listening to him. But yeah, thank you for the time for the Robin T123.
All right, and you're getting some good responses. Foxman 362, that has a very good ear, does his own live feeds on YouTube, is giving it a couple of A+, so it is doing a good thing. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark, doing what we do best, and that's listening for your radio on the air, and the jingle singers letting us know how to do that.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Uh-oh, somebody did say Fresno that time. OTR listening. The break OTR, if you can hear me through Australia and Hawaii, you are checked in 61 over. All right, thank you, 61. All right, the audio was distorting a little bit, but I hear you now. 61, you are good through the skip. Hey, Joe, sounding good. I lost another pen. There's probably going to be a bunch of pens on the floor under my chair here. Let me reconnoiter, but take a transmission and let me know what you got, and I'll find it on the Rolodex. OTR listening.
Too much there, Dennis. Yeah, you're having a pen day. I have that day too, also.
including pencils. Dennis, I have a Robin, 123B. I'd like to check in. 11 tubes, 23 channels plus.
I like the plus on the 23 channels, and we were just talking with its older brother, I guess would be the way to put it, the Robin T123. We mentioned that radio that you have, the 123B, which was, I don't know, some people, let me get a shot of it here, might say it was an upgrade. I think Robin thought it was. They took out the Magic Eye 2, but they added some other features that were inherent to the Panasonic 2 chassis. What they didn't do is take away the great audio and the great receive, and you will prove that to us on a transmission. But over to you if you can hear me through the noise.
No problem. No problem, Dennis, hearing you through the noise there for sure. The old modulation light on this end right now is the only one lit. But speaking of lights, it has an external speaker light. And it also has a PA light, which is kind of nice, with a TX and an RX. Oh boy, we're getting into some color here. Dennis, 11 tubes, all 23 channels plus. I've got a couple of switches here on the front of the radio here. It gives me a few extra channels, which makes it kind of nice. Got your RF gain, your fine tune, your squelch, full. It's got a full squelch, so you can kind of adjust, I guess, the other party, make them sound a little better, although you don't need that. A volume and a few features in the back there that I don't get into, but it has an adjustment for the meter. It also has a fine tune load adjustment in the back. It also has its jack for the extra PA speaker, I guess, but it's not the small one, it's the large one.
Well, you make it sound large regardless of the size. I like the way Foxman calls these the Batman radio. Of course, the reference to Batman and Robin. And I'll have to, that was a campy show back in 65 and 66 before these radios came out, but it was definitely old tube radio time when the original Batman and Robin television series was on, and I'll have to check when they're in the Bat Cave, see if there's any communications devices, because back in the day on those old TV shows, a lot of times they snuck in, and I think Andy Griffith had one, they snuck in a CB radio in the background to make it look like there was some type of communication going on. So were there to be a radio, it probably would be one of the Robins for Batman to call out and do whatever he does. But anyway, Joe, sounding good, getting some good comments on this radio as well as you often do, and it seems to always fire up. Oh, question, because it came up last week. Somebody else had switches. I think it was Mike said, "There's a switch on my Robin." So, you have how many switches do you have? This is the extra ones that didn't come factory. Is there one or two? And then is it a combination of like when you turn it up, the dial is not where it's supposed to be, or you turn it down? I'm just curious, I guess in 25 words or less, how that works. Over.
Well, if I were to work the switches, I could go to channel 1, and they either go up or down. At the external speaker, between the two screws, well, there are no screws there because, they're put there because of the switches. But next to the, I should say the external speaker light, there's a switch. And next to the TX light, above the TX sign there's a switch. And right now I have them both in up position. If I were to put it on channel 1, go one down and one up, I would probably end up on channel 26.
All right, so if they're both up, I think you said that, then when you look at your dial and it says 11, you're on 11, right?
Right.
Okay, and then you flip the switch. Yeah, they need a little road map to know where you would go. So it's doing some adding and subtracting with the crystals. All right, so I don't know if Mike's listening or not, but that'd be something to play with to see if he has the same thing. It might have been a standard modification. It's like, yeah, this is where you put the switches because there's a hole there. And then if they're up or down. So we will check that out. Robin, Batman nowhere around. Maybe Robin says you get your own radio, Batman. The 23-channel Citizen Band transceiver. And let me check one thing here on the back of the Rolodex. What does it say? All right, 1972 to 1976, 5 watts, 12-volt DC, 115-volt AC if you got the right cord. And like I think Mike was saying, you can't swap the cords between a 123 and a 123B, even though they might look the same. 11 tubes, 2 transistors for the DC conversion, and the beautiful audio from that 12AX7. Back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing it by. Your radio number 3.
Ah, Dennis, doggone it. Boy, you summed it up real quick there, man. That's a good deal on that. This one is right now running AC, of course. I don't have the mobile switch, the mobile cord to it, but I do have the original hand mic to it. I do not have the I guess would be the carrying handle or something to mount it to. It didn't come with that, but other than that, we've got the original mic, so if we would decide to go mobile with it, we have a mic to use.
Indeed, and this radio it suffered the 1976 FCC decree thing that radios must be 40 channels. Otherwise, I'm sure they would keep making them. There's absolutely nothing wrong and no reason to change over, with the exception of, to get to 40 channels, you had to do an illegal modification, according to the FCC, so they wanted it to be, probably still crystal controlled, but something tells me that they wouldn't like those types of modification. One question for you from the audience here, and you may or may not know without actually having to take the microphone off, and I looked in the Rolodex and it doesn't say, even though we have an operator's manual and a schematic at oldtuberadio.com, so that would tell you true. But someone is asking if that is a 3-pin or a 4-pin microphonium. So do you recall when you unscrew the microphone or put on a new microphone, if you're looking at 3 pins or 4 pins or maybe something different in there? Over.
Well, Dennis, doggone it, she's a standard microphone plug, 4-pin.
All right, 4 pins, and I don't have the pin out. And so obviously it's got the audio and the key circuit and maybe something different. I don't think it's electronic switching. So when you, unlike your E.F. Johnson 223, unplug the microphone, no audio, because it's not relay switching, it's electronic. But this is not. All right, you are cooking your dinner on the top, and that's why you wanted to key this one up. So take the heavy-duty foil and get the chicken and vegetables out and have some good meal cooked on the Robin T 123B 73. And thanks for bringing it by. Uh-oh.
60.
All right, Joe, I was having some computer issues here, but I think I got everything back. I'm trying not to break things before I have to sign off here tonight. And boy, the skip looks like it faded all the way out here anyway. So take a transmission. I don't know what you got, but you will be Radio 4. Over.
Thank you there, Dennis. Dennis said from World Radio Labs, I'd like to check in my Hustler bass. I had to have a minute there to kind of fine-tune you there, so I needed you to come back on me.
Yes, and I'll put a picture up, and we'll see why this was an important thing. Yeah, there's the Hustler right there. It's a transceiver. That means it's transmitter receiver in one box. But what they did, and a lot of the radios did it, to save money, they would give you a variable tuning, a VFO, and you can see that it's marked. If you're looking at the picture here, let me give it a close up. But it starts at. Where did my video go? Anyway, it starts at 1. Let me go back to the other picture. Starts at 1 and goes up to 23, and we are somewhere in the middle. Over.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it, I imagine I'm looking here in the dark a little bit at it. It is 8 channels, 7 tubes, extra crystal slot there, where a guy could put channel 11 directly there. I don't know what channel that crystal would be. Volume squelch, but 7 tubes.
All you need, you can get some receive and some audio and some amplification, squelch, and volume. It does have the spotter switch. So I suppose if you went to the switch and turned the spotter on, and you were on wherever channel 11 is, and you rock that tuning control, I don't know if you'd get a tone, but your S meter would probably deflect, and you would know at least you were close.
Wow. It sounds interesting there. I've got to learn to play with this radio. I never did understand the spotter switch and the crystal switch as well as you do. I fine-tune it, leave it on 3. On the, I guess it says EXT. I would take that to be extension, but I would like to learn more about it.
Well, the question is, and I do not have the answer, when you go to the EXT, which is external, it's going to that, the plug, the jack up there above the channel where you can plug in your own crystal on whatever, citizen band channel. You probably get away with putting something else in there, but it wouldn't work very well. Now, the question would be, does it take your tuning there as well? So it would be like when you go to EXT, you're automatically on that channel. Seems like you'd have to have 2 crystals to do that, but it'd be hard to say. So you still want to tune into that. The spotter switch, the caveat, the thing you need to watch out is if you do use it, to make sure to turn it off, because it's probably going to put in, especially if it was on channel 11, it's going to put a carrier on there. And you would be thinking that someone is hanging you out to dry when that spotter switch is on if you didn't turn it off. It'd be like someone's got a carrier going on, and then you realize it's you. So if you do use it, remember to make sure it goes back into the off position. Over.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll leave it at that there because you kind of hung me out to dry there trying to figure this thing out. For being such a little box, Dennis, it does have the carrying handle. It does have a mic hanger built into it there, or someone screwed it on, I guess, or maybe it's the original. But she's ready to mount. I do have the original blue mic that goes with it. I don't think I have to make any wiring changes or anything, but right now I'm on a Turner Plus 3.
It's good. Turner Plus 3's got a little bit of bass to it, not too much room noise. And again, here we are talking about amplified microphones can be overdone, especially on a transistor radio. For a tube radio, you got a little more headroom with the audio on the tubes if everything is working right, not flat topping. And this works quite well. And sometimes how the radio is adjusted, there's some adjustments inside. You probably got the 12AX7 for the audio. And it might get adjusted for a amplified microphone, and then you put the standard mic on, and it's really weak. You have to actually go in there and make some adjustments. Or the thing to do is actually adjust it for the hand mic so the audio is correct. And then if you plug in an amplified mic, just turn the microphone down so it's not overmodulated. Then you're good to go for either way. So thanks. The World Radio Labs, we talked about this last week, Leo Myerson and the Globe, and World Radio Labs, and getting into 11 meters and starting in the 1920s, et cetera, et cetera. You've got one of the few radios that I think he put out here, the Blue Hustler. A lot of his other ones were under the name of Globe, and it always works well, and it is a fan favorite. So back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing it by. You are radio number 4.
Well, thanks a lot there, Dennis. Doggone it. We appreciate it every time there. You have a fine one there. You take care, and good net tonight. I appreciate you letting me check in from World Radio Labs, my hustler.
20.
And 20, we've got you. We appreciate you bringing it by. So before we pick up the next breaking station, we're heading over. Charlie's pointing and says, you've got to check in. And yes, I do. SWL 76. I will bring up the list. Go to 76 and make sure that it gets properly checked in. I've got to put it on the on the analog list as well, were I to be able to find my pin to get rid of Red Fox 1 with the X in the square. We're on the new 8-week roster. Thank you, 76, for stopping by. The Jingle Singers want to do a jingle, and then we'll be heading over to SWL 20. Oh, it says you can dance to this one if you know how to do the cha-cha. Here we go.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic
Old Tube Radio.
for you.
Speaking of old tube magic, here's a guy that fits all of that. He's magic, he knows about tubes, and he's old. Hello, Harvey.
Well, definitely old. This one is going to act like a suppressed carrier radio. Somewhat. Can you hear me at all on it?
Yeah, and it definitely sounds like a suppressed carrier radio, or something is going on. I'm going to back off the RF gain so we can actually see it moving. Although my AGC is really slow, so it might not look right. But I'm sort of a fan of the suppressed carrier radios. We'll talk about this one. Go ahead.
Okay. It doesn't want to key up all the time. This is the LaSalle, LaSalle, from Big Associates in Illinois. And they list 2 different cities. Stock, original hand mic that does plug in. And even though it's relay switching, you need to have the mic plugged in for the receive.
On a relay switching, well, that's interesting. So it's connecting some circuit, and it's a LaSalle. I'll call it a LaSalle, LaSalle, which was, remember in, what's the song? G.R. Old LaSalle Ran Great. So that was, I think, was part of, I don't know if it's part of Cadillac or whatever, but that was an old car, and it's also an old radio. Are you on the range boost? Because that's also adding some stuff. I'm just curious if you can do it without the range boost just to test it. Over.
Yeah, I tried it without the range boost. Let me see if I can switch it off and keep this thing keyed up. I don't know if I can. There we go. That's without the range boost. It's a work in progress. I've got a lot of work to do on this thing. But can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds it's weak, but it sounds a lot better because of the low drive at the beginning. It sounds like you're on a bad Vox when you've got it on the range boost. It's really choppy and really hard to understand. And like I said, I like suppressed carrier radios, and that was not sounding correct. So the sound I'm getting now, even though it's weak, sounds like a suppressed carrier radio, and we can see the movement on the meter. That's what the Imperials did, the Regency Imperials, the range gain, and there were some modifications you could do on the E.F. Johnsons to get that suppressed carrier, which a lot of people liked. So interesting. Is there a number on the LaSalle? I actually have some Rolodexes on there, but I don't think I've got pictures. It's showing an LA 101, LA 101A. I know you told me, but I think I missed it.
Okay. Hey, it's keying up. The LA 101. And I don't know if it's the 101A or the 101. It's the one in book 3 in Sam's photo pack. Now, somebody added a meter to this, so there's an extra 2, and they actually did a good job. For receive, it does kind of work, but on transmit, when you key, it goes up and swings backwards. But I have to replace all the caps. They test good, but I'm going to do them anyway. And I have to check all the tubes. Have not done that. The final tube is supposed to be a 6CX8, but they have a 6HZ8. which is one of those tubes that even though it sucks straight in, pin out is the same, 9-pin miniature socket, the tube is twice as big. It's fat. It's one of those big fat tubes. There are about 3 or 4 tubes that they made like that. They'll plug in, but they're bigger, fatter around, and you could do a little more with it. Someone stuck that in this radio, but it's only doing about a half watt, maybe swinging to 2. Let's see. Audio. Oh, a quarter watt swinging to 1.
Yeah, I'm listening with that. It actually sounds really good. If you listen to the replay, I think you'll be happy with the sound. It sounds really bad with the range boost on it. It's real choppy. I found the Sam's photo fax in the book, and we're looking at the black and white 101A. Interesting looking radio. It almost reminds me, sort of like Pure Simpson's got the 3 knobs in the front. This one is showing the static ice cream cone microphone plugged right in the front, so I'm assuming there's a speaker in that grill, but kind of plain. I don't see any S meters or anything like that. Over.
Roger.
Oops, he does have trouble keying it or keeping it keyed, so we'll stand by here.
There we go. Yeah, it starts out at maybe a quarter watt, eighth of a watt. No, somebody stuck a meter on it. Okay, there's a light bulb underneath the sound. That juts out. That rectangular thing juts out. Hollow underneath it, and there's a light bulb. It was busted and I replaced it. But it's silver and black, not white, silver. Anyway, I've got to go through it. Now, I don't have the ice cream cone mic. I have what you might call a Shure hand mic, that rectangular Shure type mic, unamplified, but it's got the big logo on it. Now, the radio says Big Associates Inc. And then next to that, DA. Hello, there we go. Anyway, I think somebody's probably going to key on me because they can't hear me. Anyway, I'll let you go and I'll do one more.
All right, I was moving the in SWL saying, why is it audio changing? I was doing the RF gain control. I was actually turning off the AFC. So you get a lot louder. I was trying to see what the meter does, but it sort of disengages the meter. It actually sounds very loud. The audio is not bad, and for you're an S3, but because it's the controlled suppressed carrier, it sounds a lot louder than you would think. So let me go to the other. There's where it's the model LA101A from LaSalle, we'll call it. And it's working when you can keep it keyed up, so keep working on that one. That could be very, very interesting. And it probably needs one of those low wattage, or not low wattage, but really low drive solid state amps to make it work, maybe, if it doesn't clicking it out. But the modulator can't handle it. It can't handle that first eighth of a watt. It doesn't know what to do with it. But very, very good. So interesting radio. It sounds good. It looks interesting, and I'm not sure if I've ever checked one in before. Over.
Well, probably not. Anyway, it's not supposed to be suppressed carrier, I believe, but that's how it's acting. Keys up at about an 8. Oh, swings to 1. I think I can actually tune it up a little more, but you'll do the way it is. I'll work on it.
Okay. I was going to, you take one more transmission, you get it up, and I'll see if I can do a 0 beat. You probably already know where it is, but I can tell it's not quite on 085. We'll find out where it is. So take about a 10 to 15 second transmission. We'll figure it out.
$27,083.9. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, that's what I get at the zero beat, 27,083, 8.5, 8.9. So that is where it's at. I'm listening wide, so not a problem, and it sounds good. Sometimes you want to be off frequency to get through the heterodyne. So the Little LaSalle, G.R.O. LaSalle was great. I think the song, we'll have to find the lyrics to that. So over to you for transmission, but we will look forward to this in future episodes of the Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, hang on one more, and that's it, but take me a second to get to it.
All right, we'll be standing by. So it's about that time for counting and amounting. You are radio number 5 with the LaSalle, and we will pick you up and listen for anybody else that wants to check in before we get out of here, the Old Tube Radio Network.
60.
Hey, Joe, go ahead and take a transmission. Over.
Thank you much, Harvey. Let's get your radio checked in real quick. Dennis, I'd like to check in my 223, my Johnson Messenger.
All right, E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. We will get that checked in. The Rolodex. What happened to my Rolodex? It's missing. But I will find that. So go ahead and take a transmission. We'll get a picture up of that. Over.
Thank you much, all 23 channels, a well-lit little meter section that has your channel selector and your meter there, well lit. Only a couple of knobs. Your squelch will turn the radio on, and this is strictly bass. I'm on the original 223 bass mic.
All right, very good. And I think these radios, I don't know how hard it can be, but I used to talk to a couple of people that did the control carrier, suppressed carrier on the E.F. Johnsons, and they were able to put a circuit in that to do exactly what the radio that Harvey was on was doing. That was kind of a big thing. And they used to say, well, the reason I do that is nobody can ever accuse me of hanging a carrier on anybody, because when you key the microphone, you don't get a carrier unless you talk. But yours is the standard carrier inserted with the AM and a couple of side bands. It looks good and sounds good. A radio we always recommend if you can find one at a decent price. This is the way to start your collection. Back to you.
Oh, happy with it. Most definitely happy with it. All the time. No modulation light. No real meter-like action going on. But maybe one of these days we'll pick that up. It only has on the dial for the selector the number 9 red. All the rest of them are just to white. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot for letting me check this one in.
All right, well, thanks for bringing it by. That is why we are here on a Saturday evening, to check in the radios as they come by and allow everybody to pull it out of the old tube garage and drive it around the block. Looking good and sounding good. Thanks for radio number 6, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Getting ready to count and amount. And I think Harvey's got something to bring in, too.
On the number 02 radio. Harvey's got something to bring in too. On the number 02,
And so Art mentions that he didn't realize there were so many different brands. Thought it was Radio Shack, Johnson, and Midland. Well, for a while it was. And it was like cars. You go back in the 1920s, and there's Pierce Arrows and Stanley Steamers and LaSalle's, like we had in the evening, and Packards and Hudson's and Henry J's, and you keep coming along and getting newer and newer, and the companies either bought out, merge, or fall by the wayside. The CB radios are exactly like cars. It's the fins and chrome of radio. So in 1958, 59, 60, 61, you look in the Sam's Photo Facts and think, I've never heard of these or seen these radios. And then at some point, just like you said, it turns into Radio Shack, Johnson, Midland, and Uniden. So it's really fun, and I make the reference often that this is pretty much like an old car show. We drive them around the radio block, and it's a lot of fun. It's looking at the fins and chrome. So Harvey, over to you. Oh, maybe he's not there. I don't know. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio glowing in the dark, and when the jingle singers do this. Counting and amounting can't be far away.
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the Browning Golden Beagle, R68, T68 by Browning Laboratory.
All right, the Browning Golden Eagle. It's the Beagle. There's the Beagle, there's the Bagel, and there's the Eagle. I don't know if they had 3 different production lines on that or not, but yours is toasted and ready to go.
Alrighty. Okay. I'm using a mic that I just fixed for the guy. So if he's listening down in to Larry, it's fixed. Ready to go. So, he's not listening. That's right. He probably has to work in the morning. No, wait, he's off tomorrow. Yeah, he's probably listening. I hope. Okay. Anyway, this is the Golden Beagle without the custom mic. This is just a amplified D104. Okay. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, and thank you. Yeah, it does have a different sound. I mean, it obviously sounds like an Eagle, but it does have a little bit different sound than what I'm used to hearing with the Beagle, but sounds good. If you're watching the video, there it is, the R68, T68, the first Browning to wear the mark of the Golden Eagle, followed up by the Eagle, and then the Mark II. Looking good and sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by, and I think it is time for some counting and amounting.
Okay. And I still have a R68 T68 Browning for sale. Golden Eagle with banana mic. So, inquire within. You want to know more about it. Okay. Catch you next week.
All right, we will catch you next week. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radios Glowing in the Dark. We've got a couple of radios, I guess, what is it, in progress of being peaked and tweaked. Oh, and Harvey, were you able to think about the radio that if you had to qualify one as maybe the worst or maybe your least favorite? How about that? In the tube world, could you come up with a single radio?
No, not really. But there are some that I just can't stand. And those are the ones where a company made just one radio and they decided they were going to make it different than any other thing around. And you look at it, and no schematic, no paperwork anywhere. You can't find where the company came from or anything. Just look at it and go, let's get this going. But anyway, no, not offhand. There are some I don't like because they made them out of thin aluminum. And the chassis was sag from the heavy transformers. Some people know what I'm talking about. But anyway, no, that's it. Can't figure it out other than any radio that they didn't pursue well enough so that there was decent paperwork so you could fix it if you needed to. Okay, back to you. I'm out.
All right, you're not naming names and you're not taking down numbers, but they are there. It's kind of like not very user friendly. That's what we'll put down. All right, Thanks for that. Thanks for everybody stopping by tonight. We want to do some counting and amounting. And so the fanfare sounds like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
Current and final totals. And our new 8-week roster, mark your calendars. Mark your calendars next week, but mark your home game that 00, and I haven't even marked it down. Where is it? I have to look at the little piece of paper. It's SWL 31. It's Robert Teresa in the 00 spot. A good choice. They've been there before, so they know their responsibilities, whether they want to do it or not. But that's okay. It's just a fun thing we do. Way back, 30 years ago, 00 was reserved for the FCC commissioner. Wink, wink. And so we used to have daily reports from the commissioner. But these days, we thought, why are we giving it to the FCC commissioner who really doesn't give a squat about CB radio? We should put somebody in there that enjoys working on radios or working with the radios. So that's what we do. Radios tonight, SWLs tonight, we had 17 on page 1, 20 on page 2, 18 on page 3, and 22 on page 4 for a total of, that would make 79, I do believe. And radios, we had 7 with the Robins being the most heard manufacturer. Started off with the Courier 23, of course, from Green Arrow with the D104, amplified D104, and it's a good combination because for some reason it doesn't like the range boost, and maybe we will find out why in future episodes. A couple of Robins, the T123B from Sean and Sanger. Watch the replay, look at the S meter, and listen to the audio, and you think that is a good sounding radio. It cuts through the noise, doesn't need a full quieting signal. Does a good job. The 123B, the radio that came after that from 1972 to 76, Joe brought that by for Radio 3. That's a Panasonic number 2 chassis. You can't go wrong with that. Always sounds good, and I think that's the one that runs really hot. So bring your heavy-duty foil, and while you're waiting to check in on the net, cook something on top. You'll be glad you did. Radio number 4 from Hustler and Joe, of course. The Hustler, with his Hustler from World Radio Labs, always sounds good, a fan favorite in its blue suit. The LaSalle, we'll call it the LaSalle, the model LA101A, controlled, we'll call it a controlled carrier, suppressed carrier. I think, was it the Drake radios had a controlled AM carrier. I don't know if that was an efficiency thing. And some of the new AM big heavy-duty broadcasters run they call it MD, modulation-dependent controlled carrier or something like that, and it actually helps save them money by not running 20,000 watts all the time when you're not talking. You save a little bit of money that way, and they actually put out processors that work with that. But I always think the controlled carrier radios are cool. So hopefully we'll hear more of the LaSalle 101. E.F. Johnson, Messenger 223. Thanks, Joe. It's always good to come back home to the radio that was sort of the standard back in the late 60s. E.F. Johnson, whether it was a Messenger 1, Messenger 2, or the 223, you could always tell when you were sitting in front of your radio back at that time you were going to talk to somebody that had one of those. They always sounded good. And from the collection of Harvey, it wouldn't be OTR. We couldn't sign off until we hear, of course, the Browning, the Lavatories Golden Beagle, the R68, T68. That was maybe an 18-month run as they were going between Eagles, Browning Eagles, Mark IIs, Mark IIIs, and whatever they were doing back in the heyday of Citizen Band Radio made in the USA. 73, everybody. And Red Fox 1. The worst radio for him was the Heathkit GW11. Thanks for that. In fact, let me see if I can find, before I sign off here, because we're talking about that, and it is something that people like. So I'm pretty sure I have a Heathkit GW11. It's very unassuming as all the Heathkits were, but it was a kit, obviously, and it'd come in pieces. You know, it sort of looks like, there it is. Sort of looks like the LaSalle. Let me turn it over here. There it is. Almost as, it does have a meter on it. I wonder, you know, now that you brought that up, let me go to the CU, but I don't think that was a controlled carrier radio. The receiver's weak and you can only pick up strong signals. Yeah, it probably has a Super Gen receiver. So you're picking up strong signals all at the same time. But there's the GW11, and we have checked those in before. I was looking for a price point on that. 1962. There it is. I knew it. $59.95. 8 tubes. It has one more tube than the Hustler, and it runs 115 volt AC if it's an A model. If it's a GW11D, it's a 12 volt DC, and it's in Sam's CB4, page 39. So it's a little bit after the LaSalle, but it kind of reminds me of the same radio. And I'm sure it was probably a very simple receiver. So thank you, Red Fox One. Good call for that. And it says the signal meter goes up to 60, probably all the time, because it'll hear channel 6 when you're on channel 11. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, the Old Tube Radio Network. We will be back next week with your radios and your check-ins. Hopefully you can get on the radio sometime this week. Sunspot numbers are kind of wacky. There may be some things going on, but you can always hear somebody somewhere. If you're studying for your ham radio license or your ticket for an upgrade, keep going. And way more fun to be had on those bands, as well as you can hear we mix the Echo Link, the two-way, 2-meter, with all of this. It's all good. I don't think anyone is better than anyone else. It's radio and it's fun, and all you need is a piece of wire to get out. Pretty cool. Good night, everybody, from your Old Tube Radio Network.
A truck driver. We have a near a trucker. All the near a truck driver.
And I don't know. Pretty wacky. Let me find a picture of the REA meter. Things kept falling off the table tonight. I can't tell you how many times I had to pick up the pen off the floor. And what's scary is somebody like that is driving around at night. It makes you want to stay inside and not go out. You know, that half a gallon of milk you need, I'll wait till tomorrow. And yes, don't forget to feed the fish. I've lost my little "Don't Feed the Fish" jingle, but I'll get it back.
We have a near.
He's got a reminder set to feed the fish. That's what I do. I have a reminder set that OTR is on, so I don't forget. You would think after 40 years. What I do is I hang the suit up, so I can't miss it. I hang the jacket up, and I know it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to wear that. And Peter, so do I. You know what? The nighttime skip for the short hop doesn't happen here in the Central Valley until it starts getting warm. Then you get the ducting. We get that. It'll just come in from Oregon, Washington. The other type of skip, sometimes it's at the equinox. And it has been so bad lately. When we had the spring, we should have got some there. And the next one we should have is during autumn, but that's going to be October, November, and December. But really, as it starts warming up, and it will here in the next 30 to 60 days, we should start having some conditions open up after the gray line goes away, our gray line and the gray line from the Pacific. We should really start hearing some stations coming in from Arizona and Nevada Utah, Colorado, you know that Dwayne and Christy are going to be at the microphoniums up there in Idaho. We have a good hop from when that works. So we'd see what happens. Same times like 6-meter openings, 11-meter openings, and 10-meter openings. We'll have to keep listening to the beacons. But it should be fun, and I miss it. I don't know what happened to Cycle 25. Sunspot numbers are up, but these the 10-meter openings, 11-meter openings haven't been very good at all. And same thing, the no-skip days are not bad, and then at nights, I like when the skip comes in at night because it's much easier to talk. People want to talk on the nighttime skip. During the daytime skip, they want to talk, but they don't want to have a conversation. I guess that's it. Yeah, stay safe out there, Foxman. Keep an eye on the tornadoes. And thanks, Harvey. Sounding good tonight. All right, I'm going to jump out of the air chair and make some toast. I'm going to do something exciting. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining in the Old Tube Radio Network. We'll see you next week.
Oh, yes.
What microphone is that again?
Yeah, it's my Turner Expander 500.
All right, sounds like the gain might be up a little high, but it always sounds good.
Well, yeah, I do have the gain up a little much. I can turn it down to right about there.
All right, how far away are you? For like 3 feet?
No, this is about 8 inches.
Really? Okay, it just sounds like it's picking up a lot of background noise or a whine or a hum. Not a hum, but like a background noise, not a radio noise. But it sounds good. I think you're probably okay between where you are. You could probably go back up a little bit because that didn't change the noise.
Well, I can turn the volume, or not the volume, but the mic gain all the way down on the mic, and then hello. Well, I still noticed it's not modulating very much. But yeah, here. See, turn this back up, and I can talk closer into it like that. But yeah, I'm charging some batteries, so you probably hear a little fan going.
That's what I'm hearing, I think, or it's inducing something into it because it's not the radio. No, it sounds really good when you have it a little closer because you get some more bass response, and then you don't have to have the mic up. So it sounds good. Put it back wherever you had it, but it has a good sound to it.
Well, I can also I can play with this and go like that.
Or something like that. All right, I'm going to jump out of the air chair, and glad you made it back through the wind. It's not so windy right now. It's just something was going on. I think we're changing pressure levels again.
Tube radio.
As somebody said, I'll get some feedback going too, but as somebody said a couple of days back, this is earthquake weather.
Yeah. So we'll see. Everywhere but here. Everywhere else. So hopefully the San Andreas will hold up. All right, we'll talk to you later. 72 plus 1.
in here about truck drive.